Hello, welcome to hashtag CM Creative Crew. I am Pam Morin, a Creative Memories advisor, and I'm so excited to be here with you to make this fun Halloween layout. And be sure to catch all of the videos in our Halloween series from all of the other advisors. You'll get a great group of layouts to make that you can use for Halloween or you can use for any theme. They will work for whatever layout you have. Now, I just want to let you know that I gave you the wrong measurements in my preview video. I need to give you the correct ones. It's actually a 10 by 10 frame we're going to make and a 10 by 8 frame that we're going to make with the spiderweb frame punch. So if you have the spiderweb frame punch, grab that. We're going to make 2 fun frames with that for our layout, and that is going to be the centerpiece of our layout. It's going to be right in the center of our background paper. So 10 by 10 and a 10 by 8 frame is what we are going to make tonight together with this punch that is half off right now on my website. So you can grab my website by hovering your phone camera over this QR code up in the upper left-hand corner. And go check it out because there are a bunch of punches half off this month. So they are all in the theme of Halloween, and then a couple are in the theme of Christmas because our Christmas collection came out this month as well. So go check those out and see if you can't get yourself a good deal. All right, I'm going to jump over because we're going to get started. We are ready to create our fun Halloween layout together. And I am using the Happy Hauntings. Remember, this is a paper pack that is from 2022, so it's no longer available on my website. But we do have that hide and eek that is adorable. Go check that out. That is the Halloween collection that came out this year. And if you've watched any of the other advisors videos, several of them are using the hide and eek for their layouts. So you'll get a sneak peek of that collection as well. All right. So I have my 2 pieces cut out. Remember, it's going to be 10 by 10 and 10 by 8. I'm going to show this again here at the bottom. The spider web frame punch, 10 by 10 and 10 by 8 frame. So that is the first thing you want to do is cut those 2 pieces. And I used a different decorative piece for each of them because we're going to layer them together in the center like so. So we want to have something different for each frames, different decorative paper, or you can use cardstock, whatever works for your layout. And my background is this beautiful gold for this layout. So I'm going to put these aside for now while we make our frames. And we're just going to make them really slowly. And so don't worry. And you can always stop and rewind as I'm making them. Everybody, I think, has a different technique for making frames. And this is my technique. This is how the easiest way that I have found to make the frames. And I take that back. We are not going to make a frame with the 10 by 10. We're actually just going to do a border for that one. I'm changing it up a little bit from our original layout. Let me bring that into the picture here. So just to remind you of what the original one looked like. This is our 10 by 10 and our 10 by 8 frames layered together. And I decided for this next layout, remember I said it's going to be a little different. I'm just going to do a border on the top and the bottom of this centerpiece. I'm not going to do the frame along the side, the spider web along the side of this piece. I just want to do one on the top and the bottom. So we're going to do a border punch for this one and a frame for this one. All right. So there we go. So I should have said in here, we're going to do a 10 by 10 border and a 10 by 8 frame is what our project is going to end up being. I am always changing things up just a little bit. I like to go rogue and change things up. So there we go. Now it says the correct thing. A 10 by 10 border and a 10 by 8 frame with the spider web punch is what we're going to do tonight. Oh, thank you for being patient with me on that one. Trying to get all my ducks in a row here. Okay. So I've already punched out one side of this 10 by 10 piece. So pick out your paper, get your 2 decorative pieces or your cardstock and a decorative piece or 2 pieces of cardstock, whatever you've decided on. Grab a frame punch. We are using the spiderweb frame punch, and you will know when a punch is a frame punch because it has this silver line on the tray. Let me hold that way up there. There we go. See that silver vertical line? That is a guide for us for a frame. So you'll know that a punch is a frame and border punch when you see this vertical line on the tray, and it's going to be on both sides. Remember that the trays stick out on both sides of our punches, and you're going to see that vertical line on both sides on both trays. Okay, so that's how you know. Plus, I always label mine, so I know which ones are frame punches as well because I put a nice label on there so I can remind myself. All right, so I have punched out this one side of the border. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side, and then we'll be done with this 10 by 10 piece for now. That's all we're going to punch out is a border on the top, a border on the bottom. And remember, when we're punching a border, we're going to use these black marks on the front. There's one on the left and one on the right. And there's 2 because it just depends on which way you are more comfortable guiding your paper through. If you guide your paper through from the left, then you're going to use this black mark to start your first punch. If you guide your paper from the right, you're going to use this black mark to make your first punch. Okay, so that is how I punch my borders is I slide them through now and make sure that your paper is right up against this ledge on the back on the tray. There's a nice ledge to keep your paper straight. See how it sticks up right here? This piece right here. It's got a nice ledge for you to lay your paper right up against. So we're going to put our paper in up against that tray, that ledge, sorry, and we're going to bring it over to that left black mark because that's going to be where we want to make our first punch. Okay, so I'm holding it with my right hand. My edge of my paper is on that black mark, and I can make my first punch. So then we're going to slide it through, and we're going to match up what we just punched with the tray image, the silhouette on the tray image. We're going to match that up. We're going to overlay what we punched over that tray image, and that's how we know where to make our next punch. So I can see that my spider web is lined up right there. I'm still holding on to it over here against the ledge to keep it straight. And we're going to continue doing that the whole length of our paper. Line up what you just punched on that silhouette on the tray. Slide it down and do the same thing. Line it up again. And then our last punch, line it up. Make sure it's all the way back. And there we go. So I have a little bit of piece here. I can just snip that off. And there we go. We've got our border on the top and bottom of our 10 by 10 piece of paper. Okay. So we're going to set that aside. We'll get rid of our bits and pieces here from the punch. And we'll grab our 10 by 8. You need to use an even measurement for the length and the width when you are going to punch a frame. So mine is 10 by 8. You could do, and the smallest you can do is 4 by 4. So you can do 4 by 4, 4 by 6, 4 by 8, 4 by 10, 4 by 12. You could, and the same way with any even number, but it has to be an even number on your length and your width to make the frame. Okay. Just keep that in mind. It has to be an even length and width for a frame. Now, the way that I like to do my frames, the way that I like to punch them out is I like to punch the corners first, because that way I don't accidentally punch the corner as I'm going across and make a mistake. Okay. So I punch my corners first and then I do the edges. And you'll see what I mean as we're punching them out. But I just wanted to let you know that's my method. There are different methods to punching out a frame. So we're going to take the left side of our paper, and this time, instead of lining it up with that black line that we did for a border, this time we're going to line it up with that silver vertical line on the tray. So line up your edge on that silver vertical line. Now, remember I said there's a vertical line on each side on each tray. So if you feel more comfortable guiding your paper through this way, then use the vertical line that's on this tray. If you feel more comfortable guiding your paper this way, then use the vertical line that's on this tray. I am right-handed, so I guide it this way. If you're left-handed, you may feel more comfortable guiding it the other way. Okay, so I'm going to take that edge of my paper, I'm going to line it up on that silver vertical line right there. Again, I'm going to hold the paper against the ledge so it stays straight. And I'm going to make my first punch. Okay, and that's what it's going to look like. Then I'm going to turn it, and I'm going to line up this edge on that silver line on the tray. And I'm going to punch. Now I'm going to turn it again. So I'm just doing my 4. I guess it's not the corners, it's the punch next to the corner, but I like to do this one first. And one more time. Okay, so here's what you have. You've done this, I'll call it the corner punch. It's not the exact corner because you're not really punching out the corner. The corner, this little square is going to punch off, but you're punching out the first punch on each side, I guess is the way to say it, another way to say it. So I do that on each side because now all I have to do is the same thing we just did with our borders, is line this up and go all the way across. Okay, so I'm going to clear out what's underneath it first. So now I'm just going to punch the rest of this row. I'm going to line up this one that I punched on the tray, just like we did with the border. Oh, keeps. There we go. And we're going to go all the way down the row. Okay, and see that little square comes off. And there's your beautiful corner. So you have that great look around the corner. Okay, so same thing. I'm going to line up this one on the tray and punch and go all the way down this side of the paper. Punch all the way down, just like I'm punching a border. And there we go. There's my little corner. And no, it's not the last side, second to last side. Line up this punch on this side. So each side of the paper, you're going to punch just like you punch your borders, all the way down the side. And last one for this side. Right there. There's our little square corner. And last one. Line this one up. And now this is our last side. There we go. And that is how you make a frame. That has just been my method. Like I said, I like to do the corners on each side, or the first punch on each side, because that way I don't accidentally miss the corner and punch it like a border. Okay, so that's just the method that I have found works best for me, is to punch that first one on each side, and that way then I can just go back and punch them all just like you do a border. Okay, now the fun. Well, that was fun, but now more fun. Okay, so now we're going to bring our background paper back on our table, and we are going to cut these both in half. This one's going to be laid this way, and then we're going to have a piece of this on each end. Okay, so we're going to cut this one in half, and this was the one that is 10 by 10. So we should be able to cut it, and the half should be at 5 inches. So this should be the half mark. And what's great is the 5 inches right here, and it has a line in the grid here, so I can line it up at the 5, but then I also have this grid line that I can use to line it up as well. Okay, so there we go. That should be the half. And I'm just going to double check that. We can double check our center point by just holding the paper together as if we're going to fold it in half. Yep, and that center point is right there in the middle of our web. So we are good. We have got the right spot. And remember, you can use your sight guides, these 2 little plastic pieces that are in the arm of your trimmer. They have the black line down the center, so that you can just verify that you are cutting, that you're lined up and cutting where you want to cut. I feel like I needed to adjust it here a little bit. There we go. So there we go. I can make sure that I'm cutting where I want to cut with that sight guide. And there's one at the top and there's one at the bottom. And that is the feature to this trimmer that a lot of people don't know about, is the sight guide. And that's my favorite feature. You pull those down so that you can see where you're cutting. All right, so we got that one cut in half, and now we're going to cut this one in half. And this one is 10 by 8. So again, we're going to cut at the 5-inch mark, which should be right here in this, in between these 2 webs. What a tangled web we weave. All right. So I'm just going to line that up, use my sight guide to make sure it's cutting. It's going to cut where I want it to cut. I think it's a little off down there. Yep, got it now. Okay. There we go. Awesome. So now we have our 4 pieces, and we are going to put the 2 from the 10 by 10 piece in the center, and then the 10 by 8 is going to go on the outside of that. Look how awesome that looks together. I love these colors. It's so easy to coordinate with our collections because everything in the collection matches. And then we also provide you with the coordinating cardstock on the front cover sheet of your designer paper, so you can coordinate your cardstock colors. And we also have the coordinating collections. So we have collections that coordinate with other collections, and those are in our advisor emails. So reach out to your advisor if you have not seen those and ask if they will share them with you so that you know which collections coordinate together. That way, when you're buying your paper, you don't ever have to think about what matches because they all match. As long as you buy coordinating cardstock and coordinating collections, man, you are going to match and your albums are going to look beautiful. Okay, so I use photo tape for these bigger pieces. I feel like I have an easier time laying my pieces down when I use photo tape so that part of it doesn't stick down. If I use regular adhesive, you take the risk that when you're trying to lay it down, it sticks down where you don't want it, and then you have to peel it up and move it around. You can't really adjust it very well. For me, this is my technique. I don't feel like I can adjust it well. Now, with the photo tape, it is a strong tape. So you do have to make sure that you have it where you want it before you take the backing off of the tape to place it. So let me show you what I mean. So let me get my paper, my background paper lined up. And right now I have the arrows pointing that way. I think I'm going to do them up and down. No, actually, I will leave them vertical. I've got this piece has arrows. I'm just trying to decide which direction, but I think I will leave them pointing left to right. All right, so I'm just lining up my paper, my background paper, on my 13-inch mat. We have those grid lines on our 13-inch mat, and I love using those when I'm laying pieces down because then I can use the grid lines on the sides and the top to help me line things up, make sure I'm getting things straight. So I just make sure that my paper is lined up on my mat. It's straight and inside the square here. This is the 12 by 12 square. So I'm lining it up on that 12 by 12 so that it's straight. Some people will put a little bit of repositionable on the back of the paper to keep it from shifting. I also see people use the clear photo corners on their mat. So they just slide them into the clear photo corner so it doesn't shift. Whatever works for you. All right. And then I'm going to bring my 10 by 10, the half of my 10 by 10 in, and we are going to line that up. And that's going to be at the 1 and the 11. So the top of my web is like 11 and a 16th, and the bottom is at, I guess, right after the 1, the 16th inch after the 1. So I think this is right. If we line it up the 11, yeah, here we go. So this is the center right here. So what I do is I take a little bit of the backing off of my photo tape and fold it out. So now the only piece of adhesive that I have exposed is this little piece. There's photo tape right there. I can make sure that my piece is lined up on the edge and on the ruler marking of where I want it. Get it all situated to where I want it to be. Nothing's sticking down yet. Make sure it's right on the edge of the paper. And then I can press on this little piece right here to hold it in place. Then I'm going to hold on to my paper because I don't want it to shift while I'm pulling the rest of that backing off. I'm going to hold on to my paper and I'm going to slide this backing off of my photo tape so that my paper doesn't move. I have it positioned where I want, and there we go. And now I just have that second piece on this side. I can pull that off and stick that down. Now, if you're like me, you like your pieces to be flat against the paper, and if they're not, take your small adhesive and give a shot of repositionable underneath it so it stays down, just like that. There we go. So that it's nice and flat against your paper. All right, I'm going to do the 10 by 8 now on this side, and then we'll do this again on the left side. So I'm going to line up my paper, make sure it's in that square on my mat, and I'm just going to eyeball it and make sure that there is the same, that it looks centered, and it does. So I'm going to hold on to my paper, peel back the backing on my photo tape, and peel it off. There we go. I'm just loving these colors together. They are so striking, very striking. All right, so we're going to do the same thing now. We're going to line it up at the 11 and the 1. We're going to make sure it's on the edge. Seems to be. I'm going to hold on to it, and this time it just feels more comfortable to me. I'm going to start with this side. We're good. Nothing shifted. Still lined up where I want it. Hold on to it. And there we go. And we're going to do it on the other side. And there we go. We've got that piece stuck down. And we're going to peel a little bit of the backing off of this one. Actually, I'm going to do it on the other side as well. There we go. Again, I'm just going to eyeball it, make sure I have it centered, that it looks centered. And press this piece down here and then pull this backing off while I'm holding onto my paper. I just find that that works best for me instead of using regular adhesive and trying to place it with that adhesive all over the back of your paper, and then it sticks where you don't want it to stick and you have to try and peel it up. All right. I'm going to give a shot of repositionable under some of these spider webs because they are sticking up. I want them to lay flat. There we go. Well, I'll do this one too. All right. And there we are. There is the centerpiece of our layout with our beautiful spiderweb punch with our border and then our frame on each side. I just love these colors together. I was struggling with this pattern here because it is a busier pattern, and so that's why I decided to use it for the frame, because I feel like breaking it up and putting it on each side of the solid gives it a little less busy look to it. All right, now remember in our first spiderweb layout, we used the laser cut borders and we put spider webs in each corner, or in 2 corners. So this layout, we are going to use a different piece of the laser cut borders. We are going to use the spooky little tree. And we're going to have a tree over here. And we're going to have a tree over here. Now, the great thing about most of our laser cut borders is they are double-sided. So this one is black on both sides. And so that way, I can face it this way so that you can see this cute little owl that's sitting in the tree. And I'm going to do the same thing over here. I'm going to place it so that the owl is visible. Oh, I love it. Spooky little layout. We're going to have some spooky little trees over in our layout. I love it. I love these trees. I love our laser cut borders. They are just so intricate and so pretty. All right. So I'm going to use a combination of adhesives on this. I'm going to use our repositionable. This is our jumbo repositionable. And this is the one I use the majority of the time. I love this one. They just came out this year. They're very light. It's not a heavy jumbo. And the handle is ergonomic. It fits really nice in your hand. It's got a nice curve to it, and it's very comfortable. So I use that, and then the regular adhesive. I'm going to put down the tree trunk. Okay. We'll do that again with our second tree. This is going to be such a spooky layout. Okay, so and I use a silicone mat because repositionable does not stick to this mat, so you don't have to brush it off. Now it will stick to your cutting mat, so that's why I don't use it on the cutting mat, because then you have to try and clean all of that residue off, adhesive residue. You do not have to do that with a silicone mat. It doesn't stick to it. All right. And then our regular our regular adhesive down the center. We're going to put this guy over here. Right on the corner, right on the edge. There we go. Ooh, fun. I am having so much fun. All right, I hope you guys are too. And remember, if I am moving faster than you would like, just pause me and catch up with me. This is a 10 by 10 piece of paper. This is a 10 by 8 piece of paper. Punch a border on the top and the bottom of this one, and punch a frame out of the 10 by 8 on this one. Then you cut them both in half. You put the 10 by 10 in the middle and the 10 by 8 on the outside of that. Okay. Let's keep going. So I have some fun stickers with this collection. Each of our sticker packs, you get 3 sheets of stickers. One sheet has the icons, the pictures, that sort of stuff on it. The other sheet has word phrases. And then the third sheet has border stickers. So you always get this variety of icons, word phrases, and borders in each of our sticker packs. And for this layout, I am going to use this wavy sticker here at the top and the bottom of my 10 by 10. And we're not going to need all of it, so we'll have a little bit left over. But we're just going to put a little border at the top, a little wavy. It's got the gold in it. It's got the moon and the stars. And I'm just going to put it right underneath my spider webs. And then we'll just use our scissors to trim that off. There we go. And we're going to do the same thing over here. We're going to put this right underneath our spider web. And then trim it off. Okay. Same thing at the bottom. Now, if you don't have a border sticker, you can use any kind of punch that you have. If you have a little punch, you can punch out a few of that same punch. Or if you have our border maker system, you could use a border. And this is wavy, so if you want to make it a wavy border, you can use, if you have our decorative trimmer, you can use the decorative trimmer to make a wavy border. Whatever you have there, there are options for making that border. I am just loving this layout, ladies. It's really making me happy tonight. How about you? How are you liking your layout? All right, we have so many great choices of stickers. Let's start with our title. So many great ones. Happy Haunting, something wicked this way comes. Because we've got gold, and we've got black, and we've got white. Gosh, there's so many different ones here. And, you want to keep in mind where you're going to put your pictures. I love to do a 4x4. Let's see how the 4x4s, let me get these little guys. A 4x4 is so great because it works for pictures that are in landscape or portrait. You can trim them down to a 4x4. I love that. You could move it up and cover up your border if you want more space, because then you can get a 3x3 underneath it. You could layer your pictures as long as your pictures allow for that. You can also do some stickers or some journaling above those. Let me cut this pack open here. I've got some 2x2 here I'm going to show you. It is possible to crop your picture down into a 2x2 size because, for example, I could crop this from my previous layout. If I just wanted to get this jack-o'-lantern in there, I could crop that down to a 2x2 size and put that picture on a mat if I wanted to. Wouldn't have to put it on a mat. I could even do that one. That one fits a 2x2. So it is possible to get whatever object in your picture that you're trying to focus on trimmed down to a 2x2 size. I know it looks tiny and it's not your usual picture size, but that's what makes it fun too, is to have something different, have a different shape or a different size to change it up a bit. Now, I do want to do some mats on the flowers. I feel like it needs something. So I think we should bring in either some purple or some orange. Let's try, I have a purple laying here. I'm going to grab purple. This is our dark purple. So that is one of the coordinating cardstocks. I just feel like I want to break up. Yeah, doesn't that look pretty? I can use that piece right there. I can use that piece up. I love using the piece up. And then thought I had another. Oh yeah, there it is. I see it. It's hiding. Okay, so here's the piece that I used for the first layout. And this size is 3 by 3. So I'll cut another 3 by 3. Will that work? I don't think so. Let's do this side. Okay, there we go. So here are the mats. It's great to have these visuals of where your pictures are going to be. These photo placemats, I don't know if they are available right now. If they are not, I believe they're coming back. They may be sold out, but may be returning. And they are just great to get a visual of what your pictures are going to look like. And you can also use them for photo mats because they are photo safe. I didn't type it right. I was trying to do 2 things at once to try and see if they are still available. I don't see them. I'm hoping they bring them back because this is a great way to get a visual of where your pictures are going to be and to use them for photo mats. Now this one looks a little smaller. I guess I didn't measure that right. It's 3.5. Okay, so we can do a little bit bigger, and I'll use this 3 by 3 over here as well somewhere. I don't want to cover up the spider webs, but maybe we can do a little picture right there. All right, let's cut a couple more spider webs. My gosh, a couple more photo mats. See, I need a 3.5 by 3.5 and a 3 by 3. So there's my 3.5 by 3.5. I like to be balanced on each side. I like to have to be symmetrical on each side. So I really am a person that likes to do what I do to one side, I like to do to the other. I just like that balance that it gives. Oh, I just love this. I don't think I cut that one right. Here we go. Now we are even. We'll tuck this little guy up here in the spider web. I'm loving it. I don't think I'll try and put anything down here because I don't want to cover up all the spider webs, but I guess you could because you have enough spider web all the way around here. So you could put in other pictures down here, and you could do some round pictures down here if you wanted. But I love the way that we have our pictures tucked up under the spider web. We could actually do another small little one there if we wanted to bring this one around a little bit. I don't know if it'll fit. Maybe we bring this one up here and we do, there we go. How's that? Oh, yes. We've got to have lots of pictures on our pages. this is what happens. I get started and think it's going to be one way, and then I get on here and start moving pieces around, and I'm a very visual person, so it just evolves into what it evolves into, and that's fine. I don't think I'm going to be able to use this one. No, it's not quite. Well, we're just going to make this one a little smaller so we can use this piece. There we go. And we'll just put this one this way. And this one over here, will that work? Let's see. There we go. Just to use that up. Doesn't always have to be exactly the same on each side. Oh, I'm loving this, guys. All right. How are you doing? Are you loving yours? Or do you have any questions? Please let me know. Just put them in the chat. I would love for you to show us a picture of what you create. We would love to see that. And I would love for you to say hi and tell where you're watching from. That's always fun to see that. Just your comments would be so appreciated. And I would love for you to subscribe to my YouTube channel, and then also be sure and click on that little bell icon, because that will let you know when I'm going live, because I do go live every Wednesday night on my Pam's Scrapbooks Facebook page. So I would love for you to come hang out with me. I think that's as far as I'm going to go tonight, ladies, with this layout. I did some decorating, but I like to hold off on the rest until I have pictures. I definitely will add some stickers and a title because, you know, this I Put a Spell on You is going to look great, I think, right down here. I think that would be a great place for that. I've got room here for stickers as well, or other decorations. I lost my sticker pack. Here it is. You know, I've got a purple crow here that could go somewhere, although he might look a little weird because my tree's a little small for him. But I've got a moon and a cat and some skeleton arms and a bat that's purple. That would look good somewhere on this page as well. So just have a great time decorating with your stickers, and always be sure to put your date on there, your title, journal the story. Make sure that you have a spot for journaling. I definitely can use one of these spots that I have here, or I could journal down here on the paper with a black marker. That would look great as well. So lots of different options with this layout. Okay, ladies. Well, thank you so much for joining me again this month, and I look forward to seeing you in the upcoming months with different layouts and themes for our hashtag CM Creative Crew. And like I said, please let me know if you have any questions. I'm happy to answer questions or to say hi and see where you're joining from. Thanks again. See you next time. Bye-bye.